Hello everybody, Rudolph Vomit here today, and I am playing in one of two Tier 9 American tank destroyers. But this is the farly more infamous one, the T95. I'm playing here on Great Wall in a very solid Tier 9 matchup, where this Type 4 Heavy and I are easily able to own the night. The first half of this match I was thinking about going west, and I saw all the other tanks fall west, and no one go north. So I decided with this Type 4 Heavy and this Infantry 1 to head back to base and see what I can do. Now, the T95 and I were friends a long time ago. We went through 300 battles together before I finally said goodbye to her and I acquired the T123. But I'm back and I'm playing her now. And I've been asking myself why. Why did I re-buy the T95 when, you know, clearly my time was up with her? Well, it's not because the T95 is a good tank. It's slow. It has a mediocre gun. Pretty bad horsepower to weight. The armor's good, but it's reasonably flat in places. The spaced armor on the side is fantastic. But overall, there are way better Tier 9 tank destroyers out there. A lot like its counterpart, the T30. But I've been at a stage in World of Tanks where I have a lot of what I want. I'll have a lot of the top tier vehicles that I like. I have marks of excellence on the Charioteer and the Udes now. I acquired my third mark recently, a couple months ago. And I'm sitting pretty. There aren't a lot of goals that I'm going towards in World of Tanks right now, or stuff that I'm truly grinding towards. And for me, that's what makes the game fun, is grinding towards an award, something that you can feel, wow, I really worked for this. Now, I could start another tank line, and I could, you know, get a new high-tier tank that I like to play. But sometimes you gotta bring it back to the basics. And what we're gonna do here with the T95, and what I hope to do over the next couple of months if I ever get the chance to play, is gain 3 marks on the T95. Now, I know that's going to be a bit of a haul because the T95, you know, it sucks. It's not a really good tank. And it's very slow, and it doesn't have a lot going for it. But, you know, it's a meme tank. And as memes go, I would love to get 3 marks on the T95. Now, this meme tank, the Oni, wasn't having much of a good time on this side of the map. He was one of the last survivors who went west, and it seems like the rest of the team, their team, caught him out in the open, and, well, an Oni in a Tier 9 match isn't going to go a long way. He did good work by finishing off that medium tank, because that's one less medium tank I, as a T95 driver, have to worry about, but ultimately it was his demise, and, well, what can you do? He went down fighting, and that's what matters. So I'm zooming ahead a little bit in this video because as the T95 is slow, so is the T95 replay. And I chose not to drive all the way to west and get myself killed along with the rest of my team. Chose to hold down the fort from the assault from the north instead and basically become a moving, or slightly moving bunker at this point. With the good armor and the decent signal range of the T95 as well as this very meaty gun when it hits and when it penetrates, the T95 is a formidable force. And if you can't see it, that makes it even worse. So I'm sitting behind this bush right now while this Type 4 Heavy, a little bit in front of me at the west, is spotting those guys who are pushing down that kind of central mountain piece. He's going to spot one right there, put a big round into him. He's not feeling so good. That liver black is definitely within one-shot range for me, the Type 4 Heavy, and possibly this M4A1 Revelore on our team. And I do have to give a shout out to this M4A1. He was really a trooper. At the beginning of the match, I was thinking about going down west, and he was giving me a little bit of a push. The T95 is a pretty heavy tank. It wasn't doing too much, but it was a nice call to action. It was a nice gesture. And then I decided I was going to turn around and defend the base, and he was listening to my callouts and responding to my pings of the map, and he kind of stuck it with me through thick and thin, and I just want to give a major shout out to this guy. He's watching the north right now of our base while this Type 4 and I are holding down the west, where we believe the main assault will come from. This guy just read the map and read our playstyle perfectly. There was nothing better he could do, so big shout out to you. In the M41 or Lori say, you did everything perfectly in this situation, and I am very grateful to have played with you in this battle. So things are going, you know, a little slowly right now because of a Type 4 Heavy, T95, and even the M41 River Lori say, they're not the fastest of tanks. But when it's the enemy that's creating the assault, and it's the T95 and, you know, perhaps the Type 4 that are creating the defense, that's where the egg becomes very hard to crack. So again, we're just going to zoom ahead here, because there's a little bit of a lull in the action. Not because my tank, well, maybe because my tank is a little slow, but also because we're having a little bit of trouble wondering what to do. A little bit of trouble reading where the enemy is going to move next. I'd seen that T29 before I finished him, climbing the mountain. I hadn't anticipated too much, as I didn't see his allies climbing the mountain with him, but that Liver Black fell back. Didn't seem like he was too confident in pushing up. This game, have not seen the T28 prototype. I don't know about the Type 4 and the Revelry say, but it looks like the ISM as well is on a pretty high amount of hit points. This Type 4 Heavy saw that early and is now going to put the pressure on. Now, by the ISM's hit points, we can tell he's rolling the stock turret, but even though the 122 has low penetration, it can still do fair damage if it penetrates. 390 damage is nothing to laugh at. And when it's hitting you every other 10 seconds, maybe even 9, it's, you know, it becomes a formidable threat. And he puts a good round in that Type 4. It was a bit of a low roll, but it was a roll nonetheless. Damage taken is damage taken. There's nothing that can be done about that. I'm looking for a shot on this T-34, but he pops off the radar, so I'm going to come around and help this Type 4. Put a meaty round in the back of that ISM, and the Type 4 finishes him off. This M4A1 is providing us some backup. T-34 comes around, donks a shot on me, and although I'm slow, I'm going to start putting the pressure on him. Because at this point of the match, with the amount of hit points I'm on, and the amount of firepower that I can carry, still having my repair kit, my health kit, and my fire extinguisher, I'm confident that I can finish off this T-34, who's on a one-shot scale for me, and not take too much punishment without really feeling it. So this M4A1 again is going to help us. Big shot to this guy. Come around the corner, T-34 donks me again, but I don't fail to penetrate his weaker hull. Liver Black gets spotted at the top, and now I'm thinking, well, this T-28, unless he's AFK, he's got to be with this Liver Black, because at this point in the game, it's all about supporting your teammates, and it's all about sticking together. That's how a lot of these kinds of matches end very badly, is when team numbers are low, and they decide to split up to search for possibly the last tank or two, instead of stick together. Sticking together is the most important part of the in-game match, because no matter what tank you are, medium, heavy, artillery, autoloader, single shot, you can only point and fire your gun in one direction at a time. And that is why having more than one person with you is the best way to ambushing and successfully taking down a single enemy tank. The T-28 prototype finally rears his head. He was on full health, but we quickly changed that into very low health. Liver Black tries to shoot me in the back, but misses. T-28 aims again, bounces, and at this point he realizes, well, his fate is sealed. So now, although the T-95 is slow, we do have the high ground on this Liver Black, and it looks like we are going to turn around in time to get our gun pointed at him, and we're going to reload in time in order to finish him off and secure 7 kills and 6,000 damage. 50 seconds on the clock, but we cut some of that down now, didn't we? But the T95, buying it back, playing it for a couple days, 2 or 3 maybe, and gotta say, I forgot how much fun this tank was. 6,356 damage, 1,200 blocked, well, that's just because they were refusing to shoot at me. But it was nonetheless a pretty good game. And I gotta say, I really did miss the T95, but I'm glad that I spent those, well, let's not talk about that, credits, and got her back. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope to see you guys sometime soon in the future. And stay tuned for more.